And we've reached Everglades National Park here in southern Florida. We're at the southeast entrance. Going to be going to the visitor center here, the Co-Visitor Center, and we'll drive through the park a little bit. Hope to walk or hike about 4 or 5 different trails. So let's head on into the park. Just arrived here at the Royal Palm area of the park. We're going to go on the Anhinga Trail first, and then hopefully the Gumbo Limbo Trail. Each one they say is about a half a mile. And this alligator greeted us right here, along with looks like a white egret there. A nice little entrance. Very quiet day here. It's a Wednesday morning, about 9 o'clock, February 25th. So here we have the Anhinga Trail. They say it's the most popular trail in the park and the best trail to see wildlife. And we've already had a taste of that, so we're going to see what else this trail brings. And look who we have here sunning himself. 2 alligators. One in the water and one right where that woman is.
Oh yeah, look at the gators right there, Beth. Oh wow.
This guy looks like he's going to climb out. Oh boy, here he comes. Well, that was pretty incredible, seeing all those alligators. And we stepped, I don't know, 10 yards onto the trail, and that was our greeting. Going to continue along. As you see, this is an accessible trail, paved at this point. And we're going to take a walk on that boardwalk out there. I did hear that this looks like grasslands, and it is, but they said there's a a river that flows basically under this or right in this area here that's just kind of beneath the surface. It's only about 6 inches deep, they said. Pretty amazing. And here we have the sawgrass that is so predominant out here, and it is like a saw. If you run your finger along here, you feel those edges like a saw blade. This stuff would cut you up if you walked out in there. This has been one incredible trail. The Anhinga Trail, about a half a mile. More wildlife than you can imagine, practically. What a variety. Another alligator right here. This has just been a great opening to this area of the park. So we're gonna head over to the Gumbo Limbo Trail and take a look at that. And here is the Gumbo Limbo Trail. Gumbo Limbo is a type of tree. Might be this guy. I really don't know. This is unusual. I do understand that Hurricane Andrew, I think, came through here in the 1990s and kind of did quite a bit of damage over here. Yeah, here it is. All right. This looks like a different environment than the last one. So here we go into the forest. And this is the Gumbo Limbo tree. You can recognize it by that red color, peeling bark. A little different. And this is a nice peaceful stroll in a shaded forest, very cool today. Probably gives a nice relief in the hot summer months to come in here. Didn't see any wildlife yet, but a nice, peaceful, relaxing trail. Good contrast to the Anhinga. The Gumbo Limbo Trail. And we have reached the Pinelands Trail. This is a half-mile trail, loop, and goes through a forest, pine forest here. This is my first visit to this area of Everglades National Park, so I really don't know what's coming up. We'll discover it together a bit. This is what they call an island, a raised area, a little bit higher than the surrounding area. And that's where the trees grow. All they need is a little bit of a bump in the ground, a little something out of the marsh, and the sawgrass fades away a bit, and the hardwoods grow. So we're going to see some of these trees here. They say this is the most varied habitat in the park. We'll see what we see. So right now we're walking through the hardwood forest, and we're coming out to where the pines show up again. And according to the literature, the fires burn the pines, but not the hardwoods so much. So they say that the hardwoods will eventually overcome these pines as we enter right here, crossing the border to the pine forest area. So they call this a war zone of sorts for the plants. And I think the pines are losing. So this is another gentle stroll through woods and open woods. Different environment here in the Everglades. And now I'm going to drive up the road a few more miles and go to an overlook and check that out. Well, I pulled over here on the side of the park tour road, a little impromptu stop. This is called Reef Pass. I don't know, it's about a 40-yard boardwalk maybe. What we're looking at here is a bald cypress forest, very bare at this time of the year, February. They say well, there's a little bit of needles up there, not much. That's what's left. In the wet season, this will fill in beautifully with the green needles. But right now, it's winter. They call it a skeleton forest here. A bald cypress. It's just amazing how the national parks, each one is so different from the other. And just think of Yosemite and Grand Canyon and Capitol Reef. So many beautiful parks, Glacier, Yellowstone, and here we have the Everglades. Much different than all of that. Beautiful in its own way. We've arrived at the Pa-hay-okee Trail. That's a Seminole phrase meaning grassy waters. And we're going to take a quarter-mile walk on this boardwalk and see this area. I believe we're going to look over the sawgrass prairie here. And I think when we look directly north, we should see the area of Shark Valley. I visited that a couple of weeks ago. And it has nothing to do with sharks. It has to do with the Shark Slough, or Shark Valley Slough, which is to my understanding, a very shallow river. There's several sloughs, as far as I know, in this area, within the Everglades. And it's very shallow, I think 6 inches deep, they said. That flows, I believe, mostly north-south. Fresh water. All right, here's the overlook right in front of us. Let's take a peek. So right here we're looking north, and the Shark Valley unit of Everglades National Park will be somewhere out there. And here we see some of that new life coming out of the bald cypress right here. And here we have a good map that'll show us where we are. Here's where we are at the moment. This is the Shark River Slough. They say it's 8 miles wide here, flows out to the Gulf. And straight across here you'll see Shark Valley, right up in this area. That's the northern unit of the park. Oh, maybe 15 miles away. Here we have it, straight out here. And as we continue our exploration of the park road here at Everglades, we've reached the Mahogany Hammock Trail. About a half-a-mile boardwalk. Don't know what's coming up. Let's find out. Well, this was another peaceful walk here through the Mahogany Trail. It's still early. It's only 12 o'clock. So I don't know if I'll ever be back this way again. I'm going to drive the 18 more miles down to Flamingo. There's another visitor center down there. Maybe we can get a peek at the Florida Bay. I'm expecting a scenic view down there. So I'm going to get wild and crazy and just add a little bit more to this journey. Let's get on our way. And we arrived at the Guy Bradley Visitor Center down here in Flamingo. Huge boat ramp to our left over here. We're going to just stroll around, see what we find in this area just a little bit. And here is the view. We see some keys out there. The Florida Bay. There it is. Huge, vast area. We've just seen a little piece. And just beyond there, out in the distance, would be the Florida Keys. So this map might help us to see where we are. We came in from here. We went to the visitor center, Ernest Co. Drove along here. We did a few little hikes and walks. Down this way, there's Mahogany Hammock. And now we've driven down here to Flamingo here, the Guy Bradley Visitor Center. Here is the Florida Bay down in here. And the Keys would be out here beyond this road. There you have it. Florida Bay. And should you be interested, here are some of the tent sites that are available for rental here. They look pretty roomy. And we've wrapped up our little visit here at the Guy Bradley Visitor Center. Hope you enjoyed a little journey on the park road here at Everglades National Park, from the south entrance down to Guy Bradley to Flamingo. I especially like the Anhinga Trail, but all of it was beautiful and unique. So I'm going to head on back. We have about a 3-hour ride or so. And on the way down here to Flamingo, I did pass some canoe trail launches and some lakes and ponds. So perhaps I'll stop at a couple of those on the way back. So again, hope you enjoyed a little journey here to Everglades National Park.